Hey everyone, my name is Casey Rain, and thanks for tuning in to the latest episode of our Prince Fact series. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the final album released under the name Prince, before he changed his name. It's an album that in my opinion is hugely underrated, and part of this is because Prince himself downplayed the significance of this album. But in my opinion, the album is damn near flawless. Of course, we're talking about Come. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss future videos. Let's do this. Fact number 1. 6 of the songs on this album were written for a stage show that Prince produced for his Glam Slam club. The show was named Glam Slam Ulysses and starred Carmen Electra. The show was essentially a musical take on Homer's Odyssey, the Greek literary classic. Unfortunately, the show was not a success and ended almost as quickly as it began. The 6 songs from the show that ended up on the Come album are Pheromone, Dark, Loose, Space, Race, and Come the title track. Fact number 2. Speaking of the title track, let's dig into that a little bit. This is a song that went through various musical revisions before and after the album version that we know. The first version was done at the beginning of 1993. The second version was done later that year and is the version used in the Glam Slam Ulysses show. The third version was done in late 1993 and is the version you hear in the Beautiful Experience video. The fourth version was done in April 1994 and is the version that you hear on the album. And then after the album was done, Prince created the song 18 and Over, which if you've heard it, you know is a remix of the album version of Come without the horns and with new lyrics that later got released on the Crystal Ball set. Fact number 3. Pheromone is a very interesting song, and if you'd like to know a lot more about it, you can read my Twitter mega thread that I made about it, the link's in the description. Essentially, the song blends elements of meta-voyeurism with Greek mythology, French poetry, funk, hip-hop, and influences from the band 9 Inch Nails. Prince said that the song was inspired by Carmen Electra. And that makes sense given that she was the star of the Glam Slam Ulysses show. And he also said it was inspired by the cabaret club in Paris named Le Crazy Horse. Prince actually ended up making a special edit of the song for the dancers at that club. Additionally, Prince offered an instrumental edit of the song to the TV channel BET, which was used as the theme song to their show Video LP. Fact number 4. At one point, the song Loose was going to appear on an EP called The Tora Tora Experience, which of course was yet another one of Prince's pseudonyms. Additionally, the song Papa was supposed to have its own EP, and this project was even announced on MTV News at one point. It was planned to be released on Prince's birthday, 7th of June 1993, and the track list was supposed to be Papa, Come, Peach, and Race. Of course, aside from Peach, all of those 3 songs were on the Come album. One more EP that was planned was an EP of the title track Come and various remixes, including 18 and Over. And the song Dark was also supposed to be on this Come EP, but of course that EP also never transpired. Fact number 5. One release that did come out with a ton of different mixes on it was the song Space. This was a fantastic release containing several amazing alternate remixes of the song, including the acoustic mix and the Universal Love remix, which has different lyrics. The best release of this single, in my opinion, was the Japanese release, which contained 6 tracks, as opposed to the 5 tracks on the US single release. The additional 6th track was the radio edit of the Universal Love remix. But even with all these different mixes of Space having been released, there's still at least one unreleased version, and that's an instrumental version of the song that was due to be credited to Madhouse, which of course was the pseudonym that Prince had previously used for 2 instrumental jazz funk records in the 80s. Fact number 6. There's a huge amount of crossover between the tracks that ended up on the Come album, the tracks that ended up on the Gold Experience, and tracks that later ended up on the 1998 Crystal Ball compilation. In fact, 2 songs from the Gold Experience actually appeared on early configurations of the Come album. Those two songs are Endorphin Machine and Dolphin. Additionally, Interactive and Strays of the World, which both later ended up on the Crystal Ball set, also appeared on early configurations of Come. Because of this, when it comes to unreleased songs from this era, it's hard to pin them to either of those albums specifically. However, we do know that an unreleased song called Dance of Desperation was recorded in the same sessions as Pheromone and Popper, and another two songs called Dream and Lorianne were recorded on the same day as Come, Dark, Dolphin, and Endorphin Machine. Fact number 7. Although the majority of the songs were recorded in 1993, the oldest song from the album is Race, which was originally recorded in late 1991, during the time that Carmen Electra's album was being made. The album version of Race that you hear, though, was a re-recorded version from 1993. Fact number 8. Weirdly enough, Prince at one point submitted a version of the Come album to Warner Brothers that did not include the title track. Warner Brothers, who knew that the song existed, responded by asking him to include the title track and asking him to include The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Prince, of course, agreed to include the title track, but not include The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, and instead also added the song Let It Go, which had just been recorded. And this continues the tradition of the most recent song recorded being chosen as the first single, which, as we've covered in previous videos, had happened on several occasions, including with Purple Rain and Graffiti Bridge. The only track that was done after Let It Go was the editing down of the track Poem to create the various album segues and the closer outro named Orgasm. Poem in its entirety is, of course, the blend of Prince's spoken word poetry with Vanity's orgasm sounds originally recorded in 1981, and the guitar feedback outro from Private Joy from the Controversy album. Now, the full version of Poem in its entirety actually did get released, but only on a promotional CD in Germany. Fact number 9. Solo, as the name kind of implies, is of course a very minimal song, which suits the theme. However, one interesting fact is that a much fuller version of the song was also recorded, with the lineup known as the New Power Trio: Prince, Michael Bland, and Sonny T. I don't believe that this version of the song has been bootlegged or heard, but please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. Fact number 10. Let It Go, as a single, much like Space, has a bunch of remixes done, but unlike Space, these remixes were done by other people. Caviar remix was done by Quincy Jones' son QD3, who's actually a friend of mine. One sad fact about this remix that QD once told me is that the rapper on the remix, who is credited as Young Soldier of Time, was shot dead in a gang-related incident after this remix came out. Now, it's very interesting that the remixes for this song were offered to hip-hop producers. Aside from QD3, some of the other remixes were done by Jay Swift from the group The Far Side. Fact number 11, the final fact. Despite Prince downplaying the album as a contractual obligation and putting far more promotional effort into the gold experience, the album was still number 1 in the UK. This is despite the fact that Warners were pulling no punches when it came to addressing their very public issues with Prince, releasing an advert that said, "This is the new Prince album. This is not a greatest hits album. Prince isn't Prince anymore. This is new music. Yeah, it's confusing." Additionally, another poster made fun of Prince changing his name by using various symbols in the poster. Not very cool. Prince, of course, by this time was already busy promoting another record, his 1-800 Funk compilation, and hit back with his own version of that advert, alluding to Warner Brothers not treating him with respect. Ouch. And that's it for another facts video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, leave us a comment letting us know your favorite song from this album, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I did a Twitter mega thread on the song Pheromone, And that was part of a wider effort by a group of awesome Purple fans dissecting the whole album. You can search on Twitter for #Prince Twitter thread to find them all, and I'll include a link in the description for those of you who, like me, just can't get enough of this amazing album. We'll catch you next time for more facts. Peace and be wild.
Hey, St. Paul here. Make sure you go subscribe to The Violet Reality, the funkiest channel on YouTube.